Focusing on the right things will always makes your spirit high and always make your creativity very innovative. But focusing on the things that are very demotivating for you sometimes makes you feel frustrated, burnt out, and doesn't want you to make you learn more and more. So today in this video, I'll be talking about the success formula, why motivation and productivity is a must for any competitive examinations like CSIR or DBT or ICAR or many examinations. So this is Caroline Green from Biotechnica. So in this video, I'll be talking and helping you out to grow in your motivation, your education, and everything together. So click onto the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you'll be notified every time. Derek Redmond was favored a medal in 400 meters Olympic sprint. So when he was almost reaching 150 meters, he had a very spearing pain in his leg. Determined to finish his line, he wanted to run the race. But breaking the security, there came a man who said, "You don't have to do this anymore, Derek." It was Derek's father. But Derek initially said, "No, I really wanted to finish the race." And Derek's father told, "Let's do it together." Then Derek and Derek's father were going till the finishing line. When they reached the finishing line, Derek's father left Derek and Derek Redmond finished the line. By seeing this complete thing, the entire audience gave a standing ovation. There were almost 65,000 people who gave a standing ovation. So this incident has told us one important thing is like, you cannot fail if you don't give up. Yes, if you're going to be continuously working on what you really wanted in your life, you cannot be a failure. So don't give up so that you will never be called a failure. So this motivation thing is very important, which makes us realize that any competitive examination when you're going in for, you would be demotivated at times. But motivation definitely going to help you. If Steve Jobs was not motivated to start an Apple company, today we will not be having iPad or iPhone, or we will not be having a MacBook Pro. Or if Edison was not motivated even after 1,000 unsuccessful things, we wouldn't have got a bulb. So if a normal designer was not motivated to make any sort of designer bags, we wouldn't be having designer bags with us. So motivation is something which makes a lot of people who went through a lot of traumas and they have come very great successful people in the entire world. So is motivation important for competitive examination? Yes, it is. So if you are an aspirant who are preparing for competitive examination, I'll be going to tell you why motivation and productivity is really important in any competitive examinations. So let's talk about it. If anybody who wants to achieve greatness or any success in life, so the most important thing is motivation. Now the question comes, what is this motivation? You should stop asking for permission. That's the most important thing. When you start asking permission, it's going to ruin you up. So motivation is very important. That's why it makes you stop asking any kind of question, but makes you to align yourself to work towards your goal. It aligns to help you to work on the question that you have in your mind. So that is what motivation is all about. Now let's talk about motivation. It's something that you have, good thought that you have in your mind to make it into an immediate action. Suppose if you are a student or a young individual who are watching out this video and thinking like, I'm preparing for CSIR or DBT, or you are preparing for any ICM or JRF examinations or any sort of competitive examinations. If you have a goal of finishing your line of success, which is clearing your examination, make that into an immediate action. An immediate action, not an action, exactly an immediate action. Because it stops asking you questions and aligns you to work towards your goal. Stop asking question of what I'm going to do in the forthcoming life. If you have a plan of doing it, proceed on with your actions and not having a question in your mind. Motivation clarifies your goal. Yes, definitely. It tells you what you really wanted in your life. Suppose if you're an aspirant who wanted to become a researcher, set your goals perfectly fine enough. When you have your goals perfectly set, you will always work on it. So clarifies your goal. Motivation is going to help you to clarify what goal you really wanted in your life. And it always sets priorities in your life, what you wanted in your life. Are you wanted to go in for research, or are you wanted to go in for pharma sector, or are you wanted to go in for government sector? So it just clarifies your goal and set what is your priority in your life? Because at times students get distracted, or when you are an aspirant, you get distracted. But you need to know what is your priority. When you are in the process of your preparations, you need to know what's my priority rather than going in for the distraction. That's very, very important. Motivation pushes through setbacks. Yes. So we always think like successful people has gone through a very beautiful and a road which is no problems at all, no doubts at all. So, but everybody who have went through the successful path have gone through setbacks. That setback in your life can be a doubt. You might be having a doubt in your mind like, whether will I be able to clear off the CSIR net examinations? Or if you're a student who have just wrote an examination but not got the cutoff, but you might be thinking, I'm wondering, will I be able to clear? So there are setbacks, but if you have your goal set ready, and if you're not going to give up, you cannot be a failure. You might think like you might fail in the examination, but if you have your goal set ready, and if you're not going to give up on it, you cannot be called as a failure. And motivation teaches perseverance. The wonderful example I can say is Edison. So he was actually doing 1,000 times of inventing a bulb, but I don't know how many of you can correlate. If we are one among them, I do not know whether we'll be able to cope up to the situation of failing 1,000 times. Even after failing 2 to 3 times, we go up. But he has done 1,000 attempts and he failed. And those attempts has made him realize that what not to do in his life. So motivation teaches us perseverance. If you are someone who are watching out this video feeling so, of course, it teaches you perseverance. And motivation fights against the fear that you have. Yes, when you're preparing for any examinations like CSIR, DBT, ICMR, or any of the examinations, always will have a fear like what's going to be my future life. I do not know if I don't have cleared this examination, what's going to be my plan B. So it also helps you to fight against the fear that you have. Yes, I can do it. And you might have a thought like, I'm stupid, I would not able to do it. And do not ever allow those negative thoughts in your mind and fight against the fear, because motivation is actually within you. There is an intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. The one that I'm doing is an extrinsic motivation. But if you got self-motivated by the positive things that you're doing, and you have really reached this far of clearing examinations, or within a very minute cutoff you might have not done, then that itself you should take it as a positive point. Like, yes, I've come this far, so it's very easy for me to touch the line. So take it in that way, and motivation builds really, really self-confidence. If you're going to be motivated either by intrinsic way or by extrinsic way, you'll definitely feel that, yes, I am confident and I can do it. If I can't do it, then who can else do it? Motivation inspires others. Yes. So when we speak motivational speech, or when you go and talk to people when you have achieved something, or when you went through a failure and talking about the failure, it really inspires other people. So motivation is something which can help you to grow when you are in the process of preparing for any competitive examination. So I'm going to tell you, always be hydrated with a bottle full of motivation. Yes. So we drink water, but you can be hydrated with motivation, so that you don't feel like I cannot do it. You'll always feel like I can do it. So motivation increases productivity. So I'll be talking what is this productivity all about. So productivity is something like we used to talk in a business statistics, like productivity where we put input and we get maximum efficient output. So when you're going to go in for any kind of competitive examinations, we always think like we have 24 hours 7. So, but we cannot learn 24 hours 7, right? So what we actually do is we used to make very short plan of preparing for the examination, or we have some strategies of studying very faster in the form of visual image, or we have some sort of story formation, or we have mnemonics, or we have certain many scientific techniques to learn anything faster, like tables or flowcharts and everything. So we don't want to read for 24/7, but we want to read it for very minimum amount of time, but studying maximum. So that's the productivity, effective output, but you're going to give a little bit of input that are very, very effective. So motivation will definitely increases your productivity. As a student, when you're preparing for any examination, this strategy is very, very important. You don't have to sit the complete whole day stressing yourself. You just have to learn solidly for some period of time with the complete understanding and mastering in that unit. And motivation gets you through hard times is, of course, so whenever you are demotivated, when you're preparing for examination, when you read certain units and you might be feeling like this unit is not my cup of tea. If you're feeling that way, then motivation gets you through that hard times, definitely. So motivation is really, really important. But why are we not motivated at some times? Yes, we Students or people who are watching are sometimes not motivated, but why it happens? We do not know sometimes what we really wanted to do. If others are doing, we just go around and we'll feel like, yes, I also wanted to do. Do not ever take that, what you really wanted in your life. So take that as it. And self-identity. This is the most problem that most of the people has this. Like they always think like if they haven't cleared any examinations or if they weren't able to do anything in their life, they have a self-doubting ability. Like they just doubt themselves, will I be able to do so? So this kind of thought should be eliminated, and not aiming high enough. Yes, so it's just a thought. You don't have to earn much. So if you think high, you don't have to spend a lot on thinking high. You just think high, like I want to reach this position, like a realistic goals. And not aiming high can sometimes makes you feel motivated and demotivated, and makes you discouraged. And trying to tackle too much of things at a time. Yes, if you're preparing for one competitive examination, which has a correlation with other competitive examination, concentrate on one thing. So do not ever do like a work and a competitive examination and then taking care of many things. Don't do all the things at a one point of time, because you might be stressful at times. Waiting for motivation. Do not ever wait for somebody else to come and motivate you. It's you who have to make yourself motivated. That's the most important thing. This is why we at sometimes feel not motivated. How to be motivated now? First important thing, recall why you wanted to write this examination. If you want to be a researcher, why you wanted to write. After writing this examination, where you wanted to reach. So recall your purpose, recall your goals that you want, and take the first step. Yes, and break tasks into manageable chunks. Sometimes reading, suppose let's take CSIR, 13 units are there. So you might feel like very suffocated learning 13 units. So what you can do, break some task into manageable chunks. Like you can learn first unit and you can learn second and fourth unit together, and just split all these mechanisms or certain topics into small chunks and learn all the things together, so that you save time. Keep a study schedule. This is the most important thing when you're going for competitive examination. Always have a schedule and follow the schedule, and always have a target, whether you have completed the target on the same day. If you're preparing one topic today, just check in whether you have done it on the same day. And why are you delaying things? What's the cause of procrastination? If a task is given today, if you're making a timetable and if you have written, I have to study protein structure today itself, why are you delaying it next day? So just understand, you can take a moment and you can think, discover the cause of your procrastination. Use scientifically proven techniques, which we are coming, and we are going to talk about how you can learn a bit faster than before. So you have to know all this thing. So of course you might have come to a conclusion, motivation is really important for competitive examination, even for a life also. Now comes productivity. I'm going to show you something. You can see it over here. There's a wood. So if you're going to use some sort of equipments to cut that, which equipment you're going to use to cut that more efficiently, that is going to work out in a faster way. Suppose if I'm using a knife which is not sharpened properly, and I'm having a saw which is sharpened properly. So when I use a saw, it will be cut within some 10 to 15 minutes. But if I'm going to use a knife which is not sharpened, it's not going to break it immediately, right? So how you effectively use those time and how you effectively manage those time is going to make a real changes in your life. So why productivity is really important in your life? Productivity helps you to grow. Yes. So motivation will help you to reach productivity. Yes, now you know how you have to study. So I will study for 5 to 6 hours, and this is my strategy of studying 5 to 6 hours. Today I'm going to concentrate on this unit number 1, or else you can take unit number 2 and unit number 4, and you're going to concentrate on that so that you learn everything a bit faster. So your time is actually manageable. And assume speed breakers. Yes, you need to know where you're lagging behind. Okay, how you can actually knows where are you lagging behind, everything. Helps find the true purpose. Sometimes you will find like, why am I not able to do it properly in time? Sometimes you have a timetable, but you miss your timetable and the portions will be lagging behind. So it will help you to find what is my true purpose. Am I going to continue this? Or how much can I reach success in this one? You'll do more with less of your time. This is what I told you. You don't have to study 24/7. You yourself will be making a timetable and you'll be writing how I can study this topic in a very easier way. Like making a mind map or a table or charts, everything. So you'll do better with your time. If you're going to spend 10 hours before for studying, and if you know the technique of studying within 5 hours, you still more have 5 hours time. So you'll do better with your time, and you will work really smarter and not harder, and less procrastination. You'll not procrastinate a lot of things. because you are motivated and you have productivity within you and greater clarity. When you are in the process of competitive examination, if you're in the thought process, then you will really have a great clarity of what to do in your life. The next, why competitive students used to lack this productivity? The first thing is lack of focus. Yes, you wanted to become a researcher, you are going to write CSAR, a GATE, or you're going to write many examinations, TOEFL or IELTS or GRE or whatever it is. There is a lack of focus. Yes, so we say honestly, like, yes, I'm focusing on, but really, if you think about it, are you lacking focus? Just think about it. Distractions, like an unorganized study station. Yes, always be in an environment which doesn't distract you. And use of social media. I'm not going to say social media is going to be distracting all the time. If you're going to use social media in a productive way, of course, for your learning purpose or for learning some content, then definitely it's going to help you. But social media shouldn't be haunting for you. That shouldn't happen for you. And psychological factors like procrastination. Suppose, let's take it as an example. You want to learn protein structure by today, but you have not studied it by today and you have procrastinated it for a month. When you look back, you will feel like these many things has been added to you. Like, you might have thought only protein structure, but you might have left unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, which has been taught for 1 month. So it has become a lot of problem and it might cause a lot of psychological traumas in your mind. So never do that, so that you don't lose the productivity. And now the question for us is, how can I be productive? What I have to do when you start your preparation? Discover the cause of procrastination. Why are you delaying things? Why are you not learning things? Why are you keeping it for the next day? And ensure a disciplined routine. This is very important, because consistency along with discipline will always makes you a successful candidate. So ensure a disciplined resume. If you're having a very perfect study plan for almost 6 months, please do follow it and stay updated on assignment. What you have done it today, just check whether you have done it today. If you have done, just be pat on yourself and say, I'm proud of myself. Be mindful of procrastination, whether you're procrastinating a thing or not. Make time for revision. This is really important. Do a lot of revisions, because read it for less period of time and revise it for maximum period of time. And always reward yourself if you're doing it very well. And if you are a CSAR graduate, or if you have just completed, and if you have qualified, if you have not qualified, and if you have reached to that level, and if you have thought of at least writing examination, just pat on to yourself and reward yourself that you're doing it. And always set deadlines. This is very important. When you are in a competitive examination spirit, you need to set deadlines. First unit, this many days, I have to finish it completely. And after that, I will be doing only revision on that unit. So always keep a deadline for it and feel that this is the time. After this, I don't have time. Make it a point and make a daily checklist. Every day, make a checklist whether you have studied what is taught on the same day and how much you have covered on the same day. And this things makes you definitely a productive aspirant of any competitive examination. So I say that motivation and productivity is really important for any competitive examination. If you're someone who wanted to be like the person like Derek, or if you wanted to be Steve Jobs, and if you wanted to be any successful people in the world, of course, you need motivation and productivity. So what do you think about motivation and productivity for your success? Put it in the comment section. Thank you, all of you.